Good morning, garden friends. Today we're going to be working over on the back garden where a lot of my hostas and my Lenten roses are. Because we have been having this crazy weather, I have not been able to get back here, get the dead leaves off of the Lenten roses because they are blooming. They are just so gorgeous. So let me turn my camera around so you can see what I'm going to be doing in this area. And this is a section that I'm going to be working on because, like I said, I work a full-time job, and the only way I can really stay on top of my garden is doing it in sections or zones that I have. And then, like I said, get the Lenten rose cleaned up. If there's anything that needs to be cut back, I'm going to go ahead and cut back because, you know, my hostas aren't coming up. But I'm also going to be moving a rose bush. What is that shrub called? Weeping. I'll put the name of it up when I talk about it. That I'm going to be moving and then getting the area mulched. So let me show you what I'm going to be working on. Okay, so you can see my Lenten rose has a lot of dead leaves on it, and you can see the flowers are actually coming through. But that old saying regarding the leaves, and when you address your Lenten rose, if they're on the ground, you cut them down. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And as you can see in there, I have like tons of babies. So I think once I get those leaves cut back, it'll allow more sunlight or shade or whatever to let those new ones grow. Now back in that corner, there's a rose that I'm actually going to be moving back there to fill in that space, because I did move some other items from back there, but I do also know that there are some what are those hostas that's in that back area, but I just need to get those leaves cleaned up. That rose right there, I'm actually going to move because the winter creeper is a little bit too close to it. So I'm going to move that to a different location, and the rose is going to go in that spot because it's just a little bit too close to the pavers of the walkway. And then I think my Hellebores, I'm going to get those guys. My heuchras, I'm going to get those guys moved out of there. All right, guys. So I don't know about you, but when I'm doing the Lenten rose, those things got prickers on them. So I'm going to go ahead, got my gloves on, get in here, snip all this stuff off, and then that way I'm making some headway in regards to my Lenten rose getting cleaned up. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, and then once I'm done, I will get back on and show you what it looks like when the Lenten rose is in all its glory. All right, guys, look how beautiful those guys look. When you have those leaves on there, you cannot see the actual beauty of the Lenten rose. And look at this. Isn't that just gorgeous? I don't know the name of these ones because these were ones that were given to me when we first moved down here to Georgia. But I just so love the delicateness of these flowers. They just make it look so pretty. Now, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to dig it up and put it someplace else in the garden because I cannot remember if it does end up blooming. But yeah, look how nice and neat the garden bed looks when I end up cutting the leaves off. So next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get the rose and the winter creeper moved so that I can then get the bed completely mulched. All right, guys, it's a new day. I be out in the garden working before work, working after work, and then the day gets away from me. So I'm back over here in the back garden. Wasn't able to get the rose bush moved or the creeper or my heuchera, because the temperature got like super cold when I came out after work. So today I'm gonna go ahead and get the rose bush move, the creeper move, my Hellebores move, but then I also have some other plants that I'm going to be putting back here that I had dug up and was like overwintering, which I think they are irises. They're either irises or daylilies. I can't remember because I didn't tag them. But I do have some irises, Dutch irises, that I'm going to be putting back here. And like I said, my goal is to have continuous blooms throughout my garden. So first thing I'm going to do is get these guys dug up. Oh, and something new that I am doing based off of what I am learning in the Master Gardener Extension Volunteer Program. We had covered the subject of planting shrubs and trees, and it was stated that you don't need to amend the soil. And I'm like, oh my God, this clay, we don't need to amend it. So, as I stated, I'm going to be applying what I'm learning in the Master Gardener course. So I'm not going to amend the soil. Now, mind you, I'm going to put some biotone in each of the plants that I put in here, but I'm not going to amend the soil and see how that ends up doing. But first I got to get these guys dug up. Now, mind you, I am going to, I'm leaving a lot of the dirt that is surrounding, the plants that I'm digging up, because I think that'll contribute to it being successful. And part of the reason why I'm moving the heuchera is until that crabapple profusion right over there gets to its full height, having it here is still too much sun for them because they burn and they don't look pretty. So I just want to make sure I put them a little further back in the garden. Because look at these. I love this color. And, to have that pop of the burgundy back here in the garden will give me that color that I'm looking for. So. Now, the one thing that they did say, oh, thanks. The one thing that they did say for not amending the soil, oops, excuse me, is to make sure that when you dig the hole, you don't have that smooth edge, to where what it'll do is it'll still allow the plant's roots to spread out even within the clay. But because, over 8 years, I have been amending the soil, so this here isn't too bad. And like I said, when I dig something up, I like to get it right back in the ground. So I'm going to go ahead, put some biotone, and get that rose bush back that I've pushed back just a little bit further. And then I think over here, I'm gonna go ahead and plant a drift of the irises or daylilies. Like I said, I don't know which one it is. Over here. And part of the reason why I want them here is as the flowers are done from the Lenten rose, I got, more color coming up. Now these are the ones that I'm going to be planting. These are the Siberian irises. I got 4 of them in this pack, so I think that's going to look pretty to have that purple color back here. And then these guys they say they're winter hardy. Full sun to part shade will get 28 to 32 inches in height. And I have some over behind the gazebo. And I think they get more like 24 inches. I don't think they've ever gotten to 32, but you never know. And they got very nice roots on them. So I got them maybe about 3 weeks ago. So I'll get them in and then make sure I get this watered and mulched. Now I am leaving just a small smidget of it up so that I can see where it's at, but I will cover them with the mulch. So yeah, this way I can make sure these guys are good to have a nice start to them. Okay, so those guys are in there. I got one more. I might put over on that side of the rose bush because I have some daylilies that get a little too big and then they end up tipping over. So I think I'm going to dig those up and move them further over that way. Trying to figure out where I want to put these hydrangeas. I might put them over there by that pot. I think. I'm not 100% for sure. That's gardening, just being undecisive. So, where do I want to put the creeper? Maybe if I put, I know I have hostas back here. I don't want to dig those up. And I do have a creeper there. I wonder if it makes sense for me to put it over in this spot. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it over in this spot. Okay, so these are, like I said, daylilies or irises that I overwintered. That I'm going to go ahead and get planted back here. I did dig up the daylily there, but I was going to put it there, but remembered that I have hostas coming up in that area. And then I got to figure out a different spot for my heuchera. because those are hot where I was gonna put them at. I know I have hostas growing up in there. So let me just go ahead and get these guys planted, and then I'll show you what I've ended up doing with them. All right, I am all done, and I'm just so loving how this looks. As I stated, I am trying to make sure that my garden has constant blooms throughout the seasons, and I think I'm on the right track with some of the things that I am planting. Now, mind you, there will be some additional things that I will be planting throughout the season to have that continuous blooming. But let me show you what zone 7 looks like, all nice and tidy. So let me turn my camera around. Okay, so when I sit here and I think of color to have throughout the season, let's start over here first with my double play candy corn. Okay, so when I planted it, it was that bright chartreuse color. And now for spring, look at those beautiful coloring of the leaves. And then like I said, either irises or daylilies will come up. If they're irises, they're purple. If they're daylilies, I think they're yellow. So I'll end up having that pop of color. And then back there in that corner is my limelight that I propagated. And then this here is an endless summer. And as you can see, has a lot of buds on it. And this one here is pink. And then we have the beautiful Lenten rose that is back here. And then in that area is my hostas that I have growing there. And then I did put some more irises right here, which are purple. And those guys will start popping up. Oh, I think it said, this is March. So end of April, the greenery will start popping up, and then they'll be blooming in May. And then my rose bush here that I did transplant back, and this is a soft pink. I got some hyacinths that are coming up, and then another rose bush that I left in the pot, because this guy will get a good 6 foot tall, and I think that'll be a pretty backdrop for the garden, and it blooms all year long. Then some more of my Lenten rose, another endless summer. I moved my what is that? Weeping. Oh, rats. I'll post the name up. But the other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting everything labeled back here in my garden so that I know where things are at, because I was going to plant the coral bells right there, but then I remembered I have hostas that are coming up. I have another limelight, and then back in that container is my lantana. I have one in the ground that got massive, so I'm trying to see if I can contain them by putting them in pots. So that will be sprouting up in the summer. I'll have my greenery there, and then back here I have this one. I left a tag on it. This here is a Japanese Paris Valley Rose. That, look at those beautiful flowers. And this will get 36 to 48 inches tall. And let's see here. And blooms mid to late spring. So there's going to be some spring color there. I forget what this is, but I do have it logged in my book, in my journal. So I'll post those up so you know what they are. Just stepped on one of my Lenten rows. Okay, have my little patch of Helen von Steen lamb's ear here. Then figured out part of the reason why I end up having those mushy leaves is because of the humidity. You know, when it rains and then the humidity. And then I have a, what is this? A tea light rose here that is a coral color. That hydrangea is, I want to say, mini mauvet. I want to say what that is. And then I have another hydrangea back there. I moved those daylilies that were in the front back here because they do get rather tall. But I do think I got a hosta in there. I can't remember if I took that one out. And then this is where I put the heucheras. This is a shaded area, so I'm kind of hoping that they'll end up doing well here. And then another rose with some Hellebores back here. And then I have my ground cover. What is it? Panishka. I'll put that name of it up because my thought process is I want it to sort of like drape over the wall, you know, because we do have the walkway here that allows me to get back here. So, and then that one there, I think is a verbena, I think. I can't remember. I'll have to wait until the leaves get on it and it start to fill out. But, and then like I said, this is zone 7 that I ended up working in, and it's a nice size area. But boy, it looks so nice and clean with the Hellebores all trimmed back. So that's zone 7 on my pathway to having continuous blooms throughout the season. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing the transformation cleanup of zone 7. And like I said, I have to work in this way so that I can stay on top of my garden. Well, thank you again for visiting Inspiring Garden Corner and taking this journey with me. So if you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing my page. I so appreciate it.